Rain is a very popular archetype in Regulation H, and having counterplay to weather is so important, and that's why I think sand has a lot of potential. So we're going to be trying out a sand team that I've created and seeing how well it can perform. This is a sand team that I built for the start of Regulation H. We have the Tyranitar and Excadrill, which I think are actually really good Pokemon in this format. Tyranitar is incredible, especially because there is size spam in this format. For instance, against the hard Trick Room teams with Torkoal and Armorage and Indeedee, alongside the Braviary size spam teams, being able to help out against Pelipper's Weather, so Archaludon isn't able to go for those Electro Shots for free. And I think it's really nice because it has a great amount of damage that it can create with its really strong move pool. We have Knockoff that it got, which is able to do a lot of damage, get rid of items. The Terra Flying Terra Blast is a really good complement to Excadrill because you can Earthquake next to your own Tyranitar. And it is pretty good at tanking attacks with that sand special defense boost alongside the Assault Vest multipliers. We have the Excadrill, which I think is an underrated Pokemon in this format. We'll see how it goes, but high horsepower, Earthquake, able to do a lot of damage, Sand Rush to take advantage of the sand multiplying its speed, and the Clear Amulet making it immune to Intimidate from Incineroar seems pretty nice. And the way that Excadrill can go for Earthquakes in this format, it's a bit hard normally because Rillaboom does provide that grassy terrain that does weaken Earthquake normally, and Rillaboom's a very common Pokemon running around in the format. But this is where the Dragonite comes into play, and this Dragonite is a choice band Dragonite with the inner focus that's able to be immune to Fake Out and Intimidate from like the Incineroar Rillaboom combination, and provides the Ice Spinner coverage. And what this Ice Spinner coverage does, gets rid of terrain. It's one of the few Pokemon that do get Ice Spinner in this format. So you actually have terrain control if you don't have your own terrain. So you are able to go for Ice Spinner, get rid of that grassy terrain from Rillaboom, and then you can go for the Earthquakes without the weakened power. And what's nice about Dragonite, it really complements with Excadrill Tyranitar being resistant to a lot of the types that hit Excadrill and Tyranitar super effectively, like water, fighting, being immune to ground type coverage. It's a really fantastic pairing. The choice band allows it to do really strong amounts of damage with that outrage, and you do have the Terranormal extreme speed option as well, and then Aerial Ace to hit the grass types if necessary, if you don't need to go for Ice Spinner, and hit the fighting types as well. We have the Rotom Heat with the safety goggles, this one running Terra Electric. It has no weaknesses with that Levitate ability when it terras, and can go for stronger Thunderbolts. And the Will-O-Wisp coverage seemed nice, especially because I want to pair it up with the Primarina and the Sinistcha on this team. So safety goggles, Rotom Heat, the safety goggles for the sleep moves, which is really nice, specifically Spore and Sleep Powder, and really good type coverage. And again, it's a Pokemon you can Earthquake next to with Excadrill. So a lot of this team I designed specifically to rotate around the Excadrill, being able to click Earthquake against a lot of teams, which is nice. The Primarina, this one running the Throat Spray with Moonblast Hyper Voice coverage with Liquid Voice, and then Haze. The reason I want Haze is because Dondozo is a Pokemon that is super threatening, so I think having a Pokemon with Haze is very nice, and it does complement a lot of the type coverage. Another Pokemon that can hit the fighting type Pokemon, and it has really good bulk in general, which I felt like was very nice complementing this team. And then finally the Sinistcha, this one running the Hospitality with Life Dew, Trick Room, Rage Powder, and Matcha Gotcha with a Citrus Berry. The reason I decided to go with Sinistcha is because I liked having the grass type, but I didn't really think Amoonguss was necessary. I think the ghost typing can be helpful. I don't want Rillaboom because that weakens the power of the Excadrill, and I thought having a Trick Room mode is nice, especially paired to Primarina, because it allows Primarina to set up Haze against Dondozo more consistently. I think Life Dew is pretty nice because it is able to heal, for instance, the Rotom Heat, the Primarina, the Tyranitar, and Dragonite, which are generally bulky Pokemon. So I thought it would be a really good complement to this team in general, while providing, again, the ghost type that's nice. Terra Poison is probably the Terra that I could have changed the most. I wasn't too sure. I just ran Terra Poison back in the old regulations before we got the legendary Pokemon, where I felt Terra Poison was nice. I don't think it's as necessary anymore, but I don't think it's a bad typing in general. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform though. All right, we have Sinistcha, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, the Gallade, Gardevoir, Grimmsnarl, Indeedee. Viable, looks like hard Trick Room team, I'd imagine. All right, let's see what we can do here. We have our own Trick Room, which is good. I do have Tyranitar with Assault Vest, which is able to take attacks really well, besides the Gallade, I don't think I want to use my Terra Flying because I would love having the Sand Special Defense and the combination of the Assault Vest to take the Blood Moon attacks really well. I think we have to get rid of that Gallade. Gallade's going to be a #1 priority to get rid of. Let's see. Do they run Leaf Blade? I don't know. I think I'm going to leave Dragonite because I have Ice Spinner, and I think Dragonite's not bad here in this matchup. Excadrill, it's not bad either because it helps against the Gardevoir, but I don't think I need it. I kind of like the Dragonite plus the Primarina, I think, for the most part. And then in the back, I think it's Sinistcha and Tyranitar, which are really good here. Rotom Heat's not bad, but I think I have enough answers to Sinistcha, and it doesn't really accomplish that much otherwise. And Excadrill, it's a Trick Room team. It's only really useful against maybe like Gardevoir and Grimmsnarl, but otherwise doesn't really do too much. So let's find out how well we can do with our Assault Vest Tyranitar. That's going to be our main game plan. I don't know about Terra though. We're going to see the Entity Gardevoir lead. Okay, against my Dragonite Primarina. Now, I imagine since this is Trick Room, this is probably going to be... Gardevoir gets Expanding Voice, right? I'm pretty sure it does. Let's see what you trace here. Both abilities I don't think are super helpful to you. As, timing-wise, doesn't matter. Like, Inner Focus, maybe against Tyranitar's Rock Slides if it comes down to that. Oh, wait, it's not Trace. So it's Telepathy? I don't know what you'd have for Telepathy. I don't think you're synchronized, but... All right, let's just go for an Ice Spinner. I do really want to go for this Ice Spinner and get rid of the terrain. I'm going to go for it into the Gardevoir since it is probably pretty frail. And then I'm just going to get a Hyper Voice and go for the Throat Spray proc. We're going to see a Terra immediately from my opponent. Who is this going to be? Gardevoir? Gardevoir. Is this Terra Psychic for more damage? Terra Psychic for more damage. Okay, I'm hoping Dragonite is faster. I do have speed on my Dragonite. I could have switched in Tyranitar, but I don't want to take a Moonblast exactly. We do get an Ice Spinner off. That is going to get rid of this terrain. The huge reason I want to run Dragonite is for getting rid of this terrain, like Rillaboom's grassy terrain for Excadrill's Earthquake in general. Expanding Force is going to come out. It targeted down the Primarina. Shouldn't do too much damage. That actually did a very fair amount because it is a Life Orb Gardevoir. As we do get a Hyper Voice off, KO to Gardevoir, so their Terra option is gone. Entity can go for Trick Room, but not a bad start. Not a bad start. All right. Throat Spray going to activate, and I can also go into Sinistcha and get some health back, which is pretty solid. Trick Room is going to come out from the Entity. All right, what are you bringing out next? Is it Gallade? If it's Gallade, that's the scary mon. I mean, very scary mon. If it's Ursaluna, I'm not really... I mean, Ursaluna is not easy, but it's not that bad. We are going to see Ursaluna come in. All right. I think my play... Switch order is a little bit weird here. I think it's always Tyranitar first and then protect the Primarina. Because I was thinking about going to Sinistcha if it was Gallade. If it's Ursaluna, I think my best play is to go Tyranitar and just protect. With Primarina, stall out this Trick Room a bit. And then we'll handle the Gallade in the end game. I think Dragonite's going to be really crucial for handling the Gallade. So that I have to keep in mind. I don't want to exactly switch in Sinistcha on a potential Blood Moon. We're going to see Helping Hand come out from the Entity. I know they don't have Terra. Let's see what it's going to be. Probably the Hyper Voice, I'd imagine here. Maybe they go for Blood Moon, but it shouldn't do too much damage to my Tyranitar, as Hyper Voice does come out. With the Sand and the Assault Vest boosting my special defense, I should be taking this very, very comfortably, and I absolutely do. It's Throat Spray on the Ursaluna, so... Great. Not ideal, but because that is still a very powerful hit that I'm gonna have to take care of. That's not awful. I think my play here is just to go for a low kick into the Ursaluna and a Hyper Voice. Yes, I think I am okay with going for the low kick into Hyper Voice. I don't know if they're gonna go for Follow Me because the thing about Follow Me in this position is you don't know what the Tyranitar moveset is, so I don't know if that's exactly one you want to go for. Maybe you go for a Helping Hand once again to be a little bit greedy here, and that would be really ideal for me. If you go for something like Helping Hand, Earth Power, and Tyranitar, I'll absolutely take it. If they go for Helping Hand, Hyper Voice, that's completely fine without Assault Vest and the Sand Special Defense boost. Tyranitar is just taking attacks for days. We are going to see Follow Me, which is fine. I could stall out another turn of Trick Room. which is still good for me. They go for Earth Power and Tyranitar. So they left the Primarina alone. They crit my Tyranitar. Yep. That was the only way they knocked out the Tyranitar. Granted, I might not need Tyranitar because they gave me an opportunity to go for a Hyper Voice into the Ursaluna, and they just gave me the double knockout because I crit the Indeedee. So I was talking about Tyranitar, how I was going to hype up this whole game, and it would have. It was going to take the Earth Power extremely well if it wasn't for the crit. But we are able to take a knockout, which is pretty good. We'll go into Sinistcha, gets the recovery on the Primarina with the Hospitality. And then what's the last? Gallade? Yep, Gallade is coming out. I'm going to go for a reverse Trick Room and a Moonblast into Gallade. Because no matter what they do, they can't really stop. I mean, they could be safety goggles to probably just clear Amulet, but I do think that this is a pretty safe option. It's just to go for that Trick Room, reverse it, and to let Primarina go down so I get the free switch. In case they are safety goggles, if I Rage Powder, it's actually a little bit awkward if they crit my Dragonite as well, I think. So Primarina is actually just faster. It gets a +1 Moonblast into Gallade. That's going to pick up a knockout. And okay, another crit. 3 crits in 2 turns. Sure. I know Urshifu's gone, but all right. I think we were still in a really good position again to win the game. Thankfully, because they followed me and they went for the Earth Power and Tyranitar, they didn't respect the Primarina. The Hyper Voice was able to do a lot of damage. If they did go for the Helping Hand Earth Power into Tyranitar, Hyper Voice was going to KO. If they went for follow me. Basically, if they let the Primarina alive, it was pretty safe. And I also had, like, if Primarina went down, I was just going to go Sinistcha. Tyranitar would have healed back to full from the Hyper Voice, and then we would have been, I think, in a really safe position regardless. I have no idea what kind of stalled team this is, but Toxapex, Incineroar, Caladon, the Comfey, Sinistcha, and Porygon. Now, Excadrill is really, really good in this matchup. It hits very hard against a lot of my opponent. So does the Rotom Heat. It does fantastic. The rest is, do I want to bring Tyranitar? Knockoff is really good into like Porygon. Primarina is a really hard hitter, and Haze is a great move. Sinistcha has Rage Powder redirection. So, and it does allow some healing. Oh man, there's a lot of good Pokemon here. I think I want to bring the Rotom Heat and the Tyranitar lead. I think in general, it's pretty strong against my opponent's team. Excadrill is really good. I'll keep it in the back. And then I think Sinistcha, I got to be careful a little bit because I got to watch out for our Caladon getting a bit too much body press or the stamina defense boost increase because of body press. That's why I want to go for a Will-O-Wisp with Rotom Heat immediately, because if I do get that Will-O-Wisp off into the Arcaludon, that means the body presses are doing a lot less damage. We're gonna see the Toxapex and Porygon 2 lead. Okay. I don't know if there's poison involved. That's why I want a Sinistcha, because I also get some healing. I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt immediately into the Toxapex, and I'm just going to go for a knockoff, and I'm going to target down the Porygon in case the Toxapex goes for a Baneful Bunker. I'm going to see a Terra immediately. All right, so Toxapex. All right, Toxapex is tearing. I don't know what Terra it is. I mean, you Terra Grass, but you're weak to Overheat afterwards, so this is an interesting Terra right here. Okay. So I do go for the Thunderbolt into the Toxapex. Does absolutely no damage, but I'm happy with Overheat coming up in the future turn. Knockoff, get rid of that Violet is absolutely huge. Psychic. And Toxic, okay. I don't know why it's Psychic Porygon 2. Is there anything in the meta that changes because Psychic fighting types don't really exist anymore? I guess you hit other poison types, which you want on a stallish team like this, because like a Moongus, he would. Well, the thing is, he hit a Moongus with Ice Beam, but maybe other poison types that I'm not aware of. I think Thunderbolt Rock Slide just KOs Porygon, and I do expect the Baneful Bunker from the Toxapex. If they don't, I mean, I still have Overheat to threaten the following turn, so it's not like too bad. All right. Looks like no protects. They went on the aggressive, paid off. I do go for the Thunderbolt. Rock Slide, please hit the Porygon. I think I missed a Porygon. Yep. Psychic into the Rotom once again. Okay. I'm not going down to poison yet, but that is pretty bad. Yeah, that's not great. I wonder if I want to Terra Sinistcha now that I think about it. Because if I Terra Sinistcha, I mean, they can't Toxic Stall me anymore. They have to go for a Spiky Shield here, right? I'm going Excadrill, and I'm going for a Rock Slide. Because I want to KO the Porygon too. I hope they don't go hard Archaludon, which would not be great. But now I get a more offensive position with Excadrill. I'm immune to the Toxic. They retreat to Porygon. Oh no, this might be Archaludon. No, Sinistcha. Okay. Which I'm okay with because this is a Rock Slide into a knockoff the following turn. Hospitality to heal the Sinistcha, sure, or the Toxapex. They go for Baneful Bunker, yeah. Like, you want to assume that they're stalling out for the Rotom Heat to go down, which it would have if I didn't switch out. The Rock Slide, huge amount of damage to the Sinistcha. The sand is chipping away the Toxapex and Sinistcha, which is nice. So it's not really like the leftovers recovery is adding up on the Toxapex. I wish I had Swords Dance because Swords Dance would be really nice here. I just go for... I think I'm gonna go for Iron Head into the slot and just knock off the Sinistcha. I don't really need Tyranitar to win this game. Because Excadrill can beat the Archaludon, it beats the Comfey. And then it's what, Incineroar, which Excadrill also beats. So the only Pokemon I probably would, like Tyranitar has some usage against, is really the Sinistcha and the Archaludon. We're gonna see the Sinistcha retreat, which is perfect, into... That's probably Archaludon, I imagine. Yep, Bridget is the Archaludon. But I do get rid of Yvesangelist, which is actually kind of nice. Iron Head going to come out into Toxapex. That actually did some pretty good damage. Knockoff going to come out into Archaludon. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. It's rid of Solvest like we anticipated. All right. I guess I want to go for high horsepower knockoff. If I get rid of the Archaludon, I'm in a really, really good spot. So I'm just going to high horsepower. And I think I am going to spam knockoff. Because this could be like a double back in a Sinistcha play. I feel like how much that knockoff did, high horsepower should put it in range of a knockoff, even if it's a +2. We're going to see the retreat into Sinistcha, which makes sense for the Toxapex to get the hospitality. I might not KO now. Well, we'll find out, I guess, together. High horsepower. Yeah, I'm not going to KO with the knockoff. I did do some really good damage, though. Body press into Excadrill. We'll pick up the knockout. I hate stall. Knockoff. Sand subsides. I do get a free overheat KO though, assuming Rotom's faster, but this Rotom's really fast. I imagine I outspeed Archaludon. So I'm gonna go for an overheat. I'm gonna target down the... I want to target down probably Sinistcha and just go out into my own Sinistcha. Actually, no, I just want to overheat Archaludon because Sinistcha shouldn't be able to do any damage here. I think my own Sinistcha wins this end game, but I'm not 100% confident. If I knock out Porygon 2 with Matcha Gotcha, I absolutely do. We're going to see the retreat here, so something's going down to overheat. It might be Porygon 2 sack. Or that is Toxapex, right? Okay, Toxapex goes down, so I don't have to Terra the Rotom. We're going to see Sinistcha retreat actually in a Porygon 2. This is actually really, really ideal. They gave me the Toxapex, and I get the hospitality healing. Also, that Porygon is really low, so I actually might be fine anyway. All right, awesome. That's really good. That is really good. Okay, Sinistcha comes in. Hospitality will heal the Rotom, so we'll be able to hang on for a few more turns of poison. Overheat does connect with the Sinistcha, so we do pick up the knock on the Sinistcha. Awesome. All right, now it's our Caledon back in. Which I should be okay against. I think I go for Overheat and a Porygon because I think the only way they have an out, unless they want to go Sinistcha now. But if they go Sinistcha now, I always get an Overheat KO into the Sinistcha slot on their side. So I think what they do is go Arcaludon and then they switch out the Porygon 2 into Sinistcha to get the Hospitality and just hope that the Arcaludon survives the Overheat. No, they actually went Sinistcha. Okay, that's actually pretty good for me. This is Hospitality and I can go for Overheat. All right, I'm going for the Overheat and I'm going for the Life Dew, I suppose. Since it should allow Rotom Heat to survive, I think. We'll see. I imagine I'm faster than Porygon, but we'll see. We're gonna see Sinistcha retreat, actually. That's really nice for me, actually. All right. Into the Arcaludon. So Arcaludon's just going down. They gave me the Arcaludon, which is nice. I do get the Overheat off into the Arcaludon, which is going to pick up the knockout. Nice. And let's see if I can get that Life Dew off before the Porygon attacks, which I think I do. Nice. Okay. Get that recovery. Second turn are toxic, but that's all right. He went for recover. Okay, super safe play. This ends up working out really well for me. All right. Yeah, I think Overheat KOs the Sinistcha, I guess, now. Sinistcha gonna come in. I don't have Nasty Plot, which is like the only downside here. Hospitality just gonna heal that Porygon even further. I could go Tyranitar. I don't know if I'll beat the Porygon in the long term, though. That's my problem. I feel like I need an extra Mon just in case. Let me think about the Sinistcha speed tier here. We're 91. The Tyranitar is slower. I think I don't get another hit off of Tyranitar. I don't think I can. So I'm just going to go for the switch, and I'm going to go for a Machagacha here. And get recovery, because Machagacha is nice into the Porygon, and we just chip the Sinistcha and reset our special attack for a future attack. Machagacha, we missed the Sinistcha, which is the mon I wanted chip on, but I guess like in the long term, if I'm going for an Overheat KO, it shouldn't matter. They have Shadow Ball. That's actually awkward. A special defense drop me. I do heal with the Citrus Berry. But I think I'm going down to a double up if they did. Outplay. Okay, we do hang on. That is big. My Tyranitar has speed, so unless the Sinistcha War is just really weird, I should be okay, I think. Oh, this is going to be super close. I think I live Machagacha if I Terra here. Probably not, I imagine. I'm going for a knockoff and I'm going for Life Dew. I think I'd rather have the Sand Special Defense Boost too. My Sinistcha went first, so I should outspeed. I should at least outspeed, unless it was a speed tie, with the Life Dew to heal support my Tyranitar. And then against the Porygon, I think we'll be okay, but we'll see. Life Dew gonna come out. This is a really important moment in the battle. Come on, Tyranitar. Okay, but they went for Strength Sap. Which is surprising that they went for Strength Sap, but that works out. This is still a big knockoff into the Sinistcha. So much damage. Guess we're at a big root. Okay, I was wondering why I was recovering a lot. All right. They went for Recover 2. Can I beat the Porygon in time? I think with Machagacha, I should outspeed. And do I KO their Sinistcha is going to be a huge question mark. I think my play is just to always switch out to Tyranitar and go Rotom here. Reset the poison ticks. I need to hope that Machagacha finishes off their Sinistcha. I think I have to. Oh boy, this is very, very close. It looked like I've won every single speed interaction we've had with the Sinistcha, so maybe my Sinistcha is just faster than theirs. Machagacha hopefully for the knockout. Rotom. Okay, we land. Do we KO? We do. I think that seals it. I think that seals it. I hate stall. Super satisfying. All right. Drain the energy from the Sinistcha, and then I can keep going for a Life Dew healing, which is really good. We go for foul play into the Sinistcha, but we're just healing. Nice. And how many recovers did they went for? They went for like 3 or 4, I think, in this battle, so they shouldn't have too many. So I just spam Life Dew with Sinistcha, and it's why I really like Life Dew on Sinistcha. You don't have to switch to always get the healing. We will go for a Thunderbolt into the Porygon, and we're going to go for a Life Dew. And then next turn, I'll go Tyranitar, Life Dew, which is perfect. Just as long as I keep getting recovery, it's beautiful. The Psychic actually impacted with the Porygon because I couldn't go for Terra Poison to change my type. If it wasn't Psychic, I actually would have Terra'd my Sinistcha. All right, beautiful. Yeah, you have recovery, but the thing is, you have an 8 power point move. I have a, how much is Life Dew again? Like, Thunderbolt, like, yeah, 16. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for Thunderbolt. I could go for Willows for consistent chip because the sand does chip away at the Porygon pretty well, but I don't think it's necessary. We will go for a Life Dew once again. Heal back all the beautiful HP. Love Sinistcha. I think it's a really cool mon in the format. Having a ghost type is pretty nice. Psychic gonna be fired off into the Rotom. It's nowhere near enough. Sand subsides, which means I don't get extra chip in the Porygon, but I think Terra Flying or Terra Electric Thunderbolt should pick up the knockout on the Porygon. So that's what we're going to go for. We don't have to risk an accuracy or anything. I'll go for Machagacha, because even if Rotom goes down to the poison, we still have a Tyranitar that theoretically would KO, but I'm pretty sure that Terra Electric Thunderbolt should KO the non-Evioliteless or the Evioliteless Porygon too. Yeah, that's right. Get out of here. Get out of here. I love how Rotom just tearing. It's like, hey, you don't deserve it. All right, we have a scare team. Mousehold Annihilate with Snow in Alolan Ninetales Excadrill, and then we have Psy Spam and Entity Armorage. You think the placement's nice because it's not like the combos link up, but the way I described them shows. All right, Mouse Ape is difficult. It is difficult. Dragonite is pretty good. So I will want to bring Dragonite. I think Dragonite is strong. Primarina. Actually, I like Rotom Heat because I can burn the Annihilate, which I think is good. It's also decent into Alolan Ninetales. And so Dragonite's a good lead because Aerial Ace hits pretty hard. There's also the Ice Spinner for the Entity Armorage mode. I need Tyranitar for the Snow. Last Mons. This is where I don't know if I want to bring Sinistcha or Primarina. Primarina is pretty good into their team in general. Probably want Primarina. Let's see how this manages up. So Excadrill could have been nice because of Iron Head, but Primarina is just much more capable of dishing out heavy damage and taking attacks, especially from the Armorage and the Excalibur. We're gonna see into the Armorage lead. Okay, I like this. I don't have to deal with Mouse Ape immediately. We bring the Primarina plus, or we have the Dragonite plus the Rotom. Now, the only problem is this could have Meteor Beam, which is not ideal, but it's manageable, where I think I could just go for an Ice Spinner plus a Thunderbolt into Entity and do a lot of damage. I could also go for Outrage, but they're probably going to go for Follow Me, because I don't think you want to risk the Armorage, but maybe they do, because they could go for like Meteor Beam, Trick Room, but it's just going to be Follow Me, so I am able to get rid of Terrain, which is beautiful. Which means unless it's a Meteor Beam coming out, I should be able to survive the turn. Thunderbolt doesn't do any damage to that Entity, but the Ice Spinner will come out into Entity and do some pretty hefty damage. Get rid of that Psychic Terrain, that's more important. Trick comes out. All right. Nice. Nice. Now let's play around the meter beam a little bit, shall we? We're going to go Tyranitar and we're going to go for Protect. They could switch out to Indeedee, which is not great, but I don't want to risk meteor beam into Rotom or the Dragonite. The problem is switching the next turn is not going to be easy, because if they want to switch out Indeedee into a slot and then switch it back into Indeedee, Tyranitar is still really good at being able to handle the size spam. I'm actually kind of surprised they led this because of the size spam mode that I have. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the snow mode in the back. I think Mouseape would probably be the back, because I just don't think Ninetales is that good against my team, but we'll see. Bring out the Tyranitar, bring the Sandstream. No swap from the Indeedee is nice, and they tear it, so that is beautiful to see. Gonna be the Terra on Armorage, goes for the Terra Grass. Okay, so I can't go for like super effective Rock Slides or knockoffs. That's still pretty okay. You go for Helping Hand. What move are you going for? Expanding Force would be really nice, but we'll see. Or attacking a Rotom. Armor Cannon into Tyranitar, sure. No way this does that much damage. Yeah, we tank that, and the defense drops are also pretty strong. Okay, super solid. I am gonna go for a double up, I think, of knockoff Thunderbolt. I don't really want to go for Rock Slide if I don't have to. I don't want to Will-O-Wisp and give them a free swap. I'm just gonna knock off in Thunderbolt. If they go for Follow Me, terrain no longer can happen in this battle, which is nice. Or Psychic Terrain can't resume, which is nice for Dragonite Extreme Speed. They retreat the Indeedee, which is perfect, into the... Is that Annihilate? Ninetales coming out. Huh. They brought Snow. It has to be Annihilate as the last. I can't imagine Excadrill. Oh, Energy Ball. No shot this chaos though. Barely, actually. Barely. Knockoff is going to pick up the KO on Armorage. Critical hit, not necessary, I think, because it was -1 and took so much chip. And I do get a Thunderbolt off into the Ninetales. They can get a Roar Veil up, though. But Annihilate can no longer Terra, so I can Wisp it, which is good. Thunderbolt into Ninetales. I actually want you not to para. Good. Because if I para, that would have been annoying. Indeedee comes out. Aurora Veil is still really obnoxious to deal with. I'm going Primarina. And I am going to go for a Thunderbolt into the Indeedee. Actually, I feel like I should overheat the Ninetales, because there's a chance that they go for like a Dazzling Gleam to KO the Tyranitar, right? And if they do that, I get the KO on Ninetales, which is big. So bring out the Primarina. Yeah, they went for Dazzling Gleam instead. Perfect. So overheat was the right play. Nice. Beautiful. Get the KO on the Ninetales. All right. That is super solid. And now the last, I think it has to be Annihilate. I feel like Excalibur there shouldn't be, like, I don't get why you would bring Bex over Annihilate. They brought Bex. No Annihilate, huh? We take those. So I'm gonna go for I guess I'm just gonna Hyper Voice and go into Tyranitar, because I don't really need Tyranitar for much in this game. Rotom resetting the special attack could still be useful. I do think that Dragonite is going to be like the big cleaner. We're going to see Helping Hand. Okay, I could have Moonblasted. I didn't think they would allow me to, but sure. Hyper Voice going to come out. Knock out the Indeedee. If I didn't, the Sand at least got rid of Indeedee, which is also another reason why I want to go Tyranitar. And now I pressure the Excalibur with both slots. I'm saving my Terra for probably Dragonite, because I can Terra out of a weakness. Scale Shot. All right. So Tyranitar goes down. Perfectly acceptable. They do lower their defense though, and that does matter for Dragonite numbers, especially with the sand stacking up. The entity was out for what, 2 turns? So there's 3 turns left. Trigger returns to normal. I think we're still pretty set. I'm just gonna go for a Moonblast into the Excadrill. I just don't know if Bex actually has a move that can beat Primarina. I just don't think it does. I could double protect, but I just risked the Excadrill having Swords Dance, and then I'm in a weird spot. Yeah, I'd be in a weird spot. Scale Shot gonna come out and Rotom. So this is probably loaded dice with Icicle Spear and Scale Shot, but yeah. They didn't really bring the best Tyranitar answer. I guess they did get into a position where they could have taken the knock on Tyranitar with the Energy Ball. If I wasn't like a decently bulky Assault Vest set, it actually came closer than I expected. I wasn't expecting the Energy Ball to come that much closer. I thought I would have lived with like 20, but just Tyranitar clutching the survival, gained the knockouts. Again, surprised not to see the Annihilate. I wonder if they had a Terra that just wasn't good in this matchup. Like maybe Fire. That was just like allowing me to get so many KOs on a weakness. Terra Flying on Tyranitar was also scary for them. The Mouse Hold is kind of in a weird position because of Terra Dragonite's extreme speed. Maybe they were also scared of. So maybe those were a few reasons. But I did feel like I had a pretty decent combo that just worked effectively against the Entity Armrouche, and Ice Bear Dragonite was a huge part of it. Is this Simple Beam Golduck stuff? Is this Simple Beam Golduck stuff? I have a feeling it is. They have a Golduck, Tatsugiri, Dondozo, Piloswine, which I have no idea why Piloswine's on the team, and Ursaluna, Blood Moon. I think we're going to go with Sinistcha. Sinistcha is really strong in the matchup in general. Let's bring... I think Rotom is pretty good because I can Wisp. Tyranitar's not bad. Dragonite could be a play. There's quite a few options. I think I like the idea of the Rotom. Do I? Thunderbolt's not bad, but it's not like amazing either. And it's just always pressured, actually, now that I think about it. I think I'd rather lead Sinistcha, maybe Dragonite. I don't really like Excadrill in this matchup against the water types. I think Dragonite's fine. Tyranitar and Primarina in the back. Because Dragonite puts on a lot of offensive pressure. I don't think Terra Normal Extreme Speed from Choice Band outgoes Golduck, unfortunately. Because we don't have like a Sword of Ruin. But it will do a lot of damage. We just got to be careful of the Dondozo, I suppose. Yep, this is a Strats with Dondozo. Okay, perfect. So I go Sinistcha, Dragonite. I'm going for a Trick Room and an Outrage. Do I want Outrage? I feel like actually no, the play is probably just to Aerial Ace to Golduck. Yeah. It is to Aerial Ace to Golduck. The reason I Aerial Ace to Golduck is because I want to actually have the ability to switch out into Primarina to get a free switch. Because he does will actually go for the Terra. Terra Steel, okay. Which is a-okay by me. I guess the problem is the Simple is going to allow the Dondozo to get Order of Boosts quite frequently. So that's not pleasant. But then again, we do have a Primarina that does switch in pretty well. So Aerial Ace into the Golduck. And Liquidation. Okay, cool. Liquidation. And Trick Room. Okay. So now I think I have a pretty safe Matcha Gotcha. I have a burn chance as well. And I'm going to go Primarina. Because this could be Order Up. This could be... And I don't think they can knock out Primarina one hit. There is one move I am kind of concerned about. Which is Heavy Slam. On the Dondozo. So they should be switching on to Tatsugiri now. I don't need Sinistcha to win the game. But we'll see. They did switch. Okay, Liquidation comes down to Primarina. I do tank it. Defense Ball is not great, but then again, I'll have Haze to change it later. Matcha Gotcha gonna come out into the Golduck, pick up the knockout. We also hit the Dondozo. Did we get the burn? Doesn't look like we got the burn, but we do heal back to full with Sinistcha, which is nice. Okay. I'm a little bit annoyed about the defense drop, but we should be pretty safe. Also, they don't have unaware anymore, which is actually kind of nice because Primarina can boost afterward. So let's see if they bring in Tatsugiri. The play technically is to bring out your other Pokemon and then switch into Tatsugiri, but if they don't want to reveal that information, that's perfectly fine. There's a reason why I think Primarina is really good, and that is Haze. Haze for Dondozo. This is, I feel like it's kind of a necessity. You have Terra Steel for the Clear Smog Amoonguss, but you know what that doesn't stop? It doesn't stop my Haze, baby. We're going to go for a Life Dew, heal the Primarina just a little bit. Actually, do I? Actually, I'll just go for the burn. I'll go for the burn because I can keep going for it until I get that burn and just haze away the boost. So, Dondozo, checkmate. You go for Earthquake. So little damage. So little damage. That was a crit on Sinistcha. Machagacha. I think I keep going for Machagacha till I get a burn. I think I Life Dew now, actually. Okay, yeah, I definitely Life Dew now. Now we got the burn. This is the thing about Simple Dondozo. If I had Intimidate, you'd be getting -2 attack drops. I wouldn't be able to KO the Dondozo, but it's really hard for you to stop getting pivoted cycled by Intimidate. Oh, Tatsugiri is a Flame Orb. Do any of these Pokemon have Psych Up? I don't think so. But I just win anyway because I click Life Dew and I click Hyper Voice. Are they going to forfeit? I mean, sure, you can have Rest. Like, if this is Rest talk, I'm pretty sure that Primarina will break through it eventually. With the +1 special attack. Like, that did actually a good amount of damage. And that wasn't even boosted yet. And then we just keep healing with Life Dew. How many turns of Trick Room are left? I think we'll have enough Trick Room turns by the time it expires. So I should just be able to Hyper Voice combo the Dondozo to Oblivion. Leftovers is just not saving the Dondozo. The next one's also hitting way harder. Yeah, I can go for Machagacha. I can go for Hyper Voice. And then next turn I can go for, yeah, they forfeit. They realize. They realize. They realize. It's so satisfying to haze a Dondozo. It's boost away. Just like Regulation A. Alright, we have a really cool team. Pelipper, Archaludon, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, Superior, Grimmsnarl, and Incineroar. Screens next to the Archaludon sound really difficult, and I mean really difficult to handle. I do really like Rotom Heat. It's pretty good against a lot of their mons, especially if I do get rid of my weakness with Terra. Should be pretty good for the most part. I'm a little bit worried about Archaludon, but I think we'll have good tools overall. Excadrill's pretty decent. Tyranitar is to get rid of Weather. Do I need to get rid of Weather though? I don't need to, right? It's good against Ursaluna, but the thing is, there's no Trick Room, so I feel like I could overwhelm the Ursaluna if I really want to. Taking advantage of the rain with Primarina doesn't sound awful to me. I kind of like the idea of maybe like Excadrill Rotom Heat, because I can double up knockout the Pelipper. I have two Pokemon that are faster than Pelipper. And then maybe just take advantage of it. And then Primarina Sinistcha sounds not bad either to me. I'm going to try it. Let's see. I think that these combos can have a lot of fun, although it is still difficult because screens Archaludon it just sounds like a massive threat. It really does. I do have Will-O-Wisp to burn the Archaludon for the body press stuff at least, but Superior plus the Grimmsnarl. All right. As we lead the Rotom Heat and the Excadrill. I am just going to go for a Thunderbolt into the Grimmsnarl, and I'm going to go for an Iron Head into Grimmsnarl as well, I'm pretty sure. Because I could see them going for Protect Screens. I could also see a Leaf Storm immediately, which I think is okay. They have Terra, that's going to be annoying, but it's just going to depend on like what the Terra is. So let's see. I will go for the Iron Head. They go for Reflect. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that Iron Head Thunderbolt should deny a light screen. Gastro Acid. All right, I won't have Sand Rush anymore, but I didn't bring Tyranitar, so the ability doesn't change anything here. Ironhead actually knocks out the Grimmsnarl thanks to a critical hit. I actually want to see if Ironhead Thunderbolt was KOing, but I guess guaranteeing that, hey, there is no light screen up is still pretty good. Thunderbolt going to come out into the Superior. Okay. Superior seems a lot less scary. Seems a lot less scary. Let's see who they bring out next. Could be Arcalodon, and I do have Will-O-Wisp, and I will go for it. Blood Moon or Ursaluna coming out? Huh. Oh. They have a Gastro Acid Earth Power play that they could go for. All right. If that's the case, I'm protecting Rotom and I'm going hard into Sinistcha, I suppose. Because I do have Rage Powder on the Sinistcha. I wonder if they even brought Arcalodon. I feel like you have to have Pelipper in the back. Like, just no Pelipper seems really strange in this. Bring out the Sinistcha. Won't get the Hospitality, but it's still pretty alright. We will go for Protective Rotom. This should be Gastro Acid and Earth Power. Yep, Gastro Acid. Earth Power probably targets either slot, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, they did target the Rotom. Perfect. I will go for an Overheat into the Superior. And I'm going to Rage Powder with my Sinistcha. Unless they're Terra Grass or something crazy, I should be alright. Overheat and a Gotcha might have been able to take the Blood Moon Ursaluna, but it's okay. They switch out Superior. This is Pelipper. Smart play on them. Oh, it's Incineroar, it looks like. Yeah, okay. No Pelipper is kind of nice. I just got to pressure. I think I just got to pressure these slots with Hyper Voice and I'll be okay. Overheat will come out into the Incineroar. Is this Blood Moon? Hyper Voice, all right. Which I am okay with. I'm going into Excadrill because I think it's a safe play for the most part. Then it's just faster. I should be able to get a Gotcha off at least. All right, so basically this is them with Protect the Blood Moon. I need to keep Rotom around because the Superior could still snowball against me. So I got to make sure that I still have a way to hit it. I go for Gotcha to get some damage into Blood Moon to put in maybe Hyper Voice range. They're fast. They go for a knockoff into what was the Rotom. But I did switch into Excadrill. Gotcha will come out. That's a fast Incineroar. It did outspeed my Sinistcha. My Sinistcha has some speed. At least it's faster than a normal Incineroar. We are able to heal back with our Gotcha. Quite a bit of health, which is very pleasant. Let's see if it's Blood Moon or Hyper Voice again. Blood Moon into Sinistcha. Do we survive one? I imagine so. No. That actually might work out well for me because I get to bring in Primarina. I'm actually surprised. I guess that has to be Silk Scarf. It's not Life Orb, so it has to be Silk Scarf. Primarina comes in. I'm going for high. I gotta get the. Do I have to get a call right? I don't think I do actually. I guess I just high horsepower and I go for Hyper Voice. Yeah. They haven't used our Terror yet. I'm going for high horsepower into Incineroar. I don't know if it KOs with Reflect Up. But they also are probably decently... They're not the bulkiest Incineroar because we saw it outspeed Sinistcha, which does require some speed. So it might be out of bulk. And then high horsepower, if we KO the Incineroar, it's a single target Hyper Voice. They can't go for Blood Moon. They just used it. We could see the swap here into the Superior, which is something I thought could be a case. Oh, they might be trying to go for a Gastro Acid the next turn into Primarina. Looks like they're going to Terra that. All right. So this is Terra from the Blood Moon. Terra normal, Hyper Voice is going to hurt, but still not awful, I think. High horsepower going to come out into the Superior, some chip damage. That's why I was thinking of doubling up the Ursaluna. Wow, that did less than I thought. All right, we get the throat spray active on the Primarina. Hyper Voice gonna come out. Much damage does this do? Excadrill hangs on, which is good. Terra wise, I don't need my Terra for much. I'm going for Iron Head into the Superior, and I'm gonna go for a Moonblast Terra Grass into the Blood Moon. We'll dodge a Leaf Storm. Oh, they could have Glare. If they have Glare and they glare to Primarina, that's really awful for me. And that might be their play. I might have just lost because of that. I probably should have protected Primarina. No, they Vacuum Wave instead. Okay, that works out. How's it? I might lose to the Incineroar now. Wait, okay, no, they hit the Leaf Storm. It's Life Orb on the Superior. I get the KO onto Blood Moon. I actually thought a really cheeky play they could have done was go for Gastro Acid so they survive. But if they expected they could get the double kill or a double knockout, that makes sense. We go Rotom Heat, but I think I lose to Incineroar. They should just fake out Leaf Storm. They should fake out Rotom and Leaf Storm to Primarina. I think my only hope is that they miss Leaf Storm. I think that's my only out. So we do protect Rotom. Can we get a knockout here? Fake out does go into Rotom, right? Can we dodge? Or did they double up Rotom? Oh, they just went for Terra Blast. I don't know what Terra it is. But Superior did break through the Primarina, and now pretty sure I lose. I'm pretty sure 2 Terra Blasts are enough, and I don't even think Thunderbolt's enough to knock out Incineroar with a crit. Ah, tough one. Was it a Solvest Bear? I just don't believe Blood Moon KOs the Sinistcha from the range I'm at. Just don't believe it does. I know I had Chip, but like... I don't know. Was it Silk Scarf or was it just Vacuum Wave? Was it just Vacuum Wave Silk Scarf or was that a Assault Vest? Terra Blast. Yeah, it actually just OHKOs the Rotom from the range I'm at. Superior was tough for this one. I guess I would have had to read it coming in because I did have a suspicion it could have. So there were 2 options that I had probably. I guess the Incineroar switching out was a little bit obvious. I could have went for either Iron Head double up into Blood Moon or Saluna because I wasn't sure if they were going to Terra or just protect to play it safe. Because I could have seen like a Gastro Acid the following turn into Primarina. So I think what I could have done, it was either go for Iron Head in the Superior as well as Hyper Voice, or just double up the Ursaluna with the Iron Head and the Hyper Voice. And I don't even know if I picked up the knockout. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, Ice Spinner Dragonite got rid of the Psychic Terrain, and the combination of Tyranitar and Primarina was hard for the Blood Moon on their side to handle. Even if they got the crit knockout into Tyranitar, ignoring the Primarina was a massive mistake. In game 2, did not think I would encounter a Toxapex stall team, but Sinistcha with Life Dew and Hospitality was so important for healing. But I should have considered the Hospitality switching for my opponent on the Archaludon the first time, so I could have avoided losing the Excadrill, but was still able to pull out a win. In game 3, surprised to see no Annihilate being brought, but Ice Spinner removing the terrain and the Tyranitar being able to tank the Terra Grass Energy Ball from Armarouge without the sand and pick up the knockout was huge, while the Ice type struggled to deal with Primarina. In game 4, love to see a committal Dundozo team, and then Haze Primarina messes with any chance of the Dundozo sweeping. In game 5, made a bit too many safe plays and ended up not committing to any reads that ended up costing me, especially on the Superior switching and Blood Moon Terra turn, and then the Vacuum Wave ended up knocking out Excadrill, preventing me from getting a finishing blow into one of their mons. Superior and Blood Moon were big threats that I took too long to knock out, and I might have needed Tyranitar for. Overall, what was my opinion on Sand? I don't think it's too bad. I think Tyranitar has a lot of value. I didn't get to use Earthquake as much with Excadrill. I think it was just the Pokemon weren't exactly weak to ground, so I didn't really feel a need to go for Earthquake a lot, but I do think a lot of the core worked. I really did like the Dragonite. The Ice Spinner coverage is really nice if you're not running Rillaboom. Sinistcha was a really solid Pokemon, I felt like, throughout the team. Tyranitar with that Assault Vest able to tank attacks, which is really nice, as well as the Primarina that helped out against Indozo and was pretty solid. So I do like a lot of elements on this team. If you do want to try it out, the rental code will be on your screen. It will only be available for a short time, so make sure you grab it while you can. But otherwise, you can check out the details of the team down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.